way?
Everybody's away.
She comes.
Nobody did.
I'll go ahead and switch the chairs now. She likes the soft chairs for her
Susan
tush.
sits there.
Well, she's on vacation.
Well, I know, but she got back. But
Oh,
she
she did?
usually gets pretty tired.
Oh, yeah.
But because of today, she really liked to be there, so she's gonna try it.
Good to see you.
She was going to try to
Thank
get
you
our
for your camera there.
No, I'm not doing it.
Well, she had a lot of activity.
We're not as active as we used to be.
She wears it down.
Our club is
I know.
deteriorating quite a bit.
Can you imagine what you can do?
Oh, God.
Yes.
Look out, world.
No.
Morning, Michael.
She can build a nation. I'm kind of reserving that one for
This
you.
place is like-
Oh, okay.
Hey, Rick, you can sit here. I'm just taking off.
Okay.
I'll be up and around. You can borrow my screen.
Well, I was thinking
Oh,
about,
radio ham.
Happened over here.
I mean, he's embarrassed because he has no.
I wanted to see the other one.
Nothing.
He's
He's bare.
thinking about you.
He's a guest.
Nice guy. Every
Yeah.
morning.
I
I've the bike ride on my calendar.
Yeah. Wine, man.
Yeah, I'm right there.
I'm gonna help him out.
I was thinking about some of the.
I'm trying to get this guy to be my partner for the Beaverton Banks and
We
Beyond.
could just get
Oh,
a
yeah.
more membership.
We're gonna ride together.
The history is, the history is
But we need some of that.
the Tony and Alan and I.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
The physical things on some of the.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the oldest guy here now.
Yeah, that was the inaugural.
88,
November senior ride.
Our senior rollers.
Senior rollers, yeah.
He's 69.
And he showed us where that little funky entrance was.
Yeah, that's right. Over where Gary Mahone lives.
Yeah.
That was all, they just said it was all based on.
And so,
Yeah, I remember
you
that.
know,
That seems like.
That trestle, that's right.
yeah. Look at there. That's where Bruce says it.
Restored.
Welcome back to the active.
So
Well,
what's the
yeah.
name of that gal?
I feel better being
One of the
outside.
trestles they weren't able to restore, one they were able to.
Lil.
Because in the early days, you had it, you had to go down,
All the time to
and 2 years ago, bike where that you could ride on, and you had to get down, and then you had to climb like that for like, this 3 feet to get back up. This crowd is nice. Is this kind of like a correction for your God, or is it
It's
just?
just slowing.
Well, I'm slowing down.
I don't know what I am, but they, so she said, okay.
Yeah.
That's better. What are you doing with the ladies there? What are you doing to pass your time? Yeah, I'm thinking about, packing stuff. I was thinking about running for office, but then again,
Montez,
I thought about it again.
Yeah. It's the second thought that gets you.
Gary Mahone has gone out to bank.
I see Tony every once in a
I
while.
don't want to get rid of that.
Gary's in a wheelchair now.
So that's what I'm doing.
Good morning,
Morning,
everybody.
Presidente.
How's everybody?
We're fine.
All right, that's what optimists are supposed to say.
We're here perfect.
Fine and peach fuzz. Okay. Well, welcome to this edition of Beaverton Optimists. And this, you know, we have the cracked door, but I was just going to say, when you leave a door open a little bit, people sneak in, like Richard Hose here. So I asked Richard if he'd lead us in the pledge of the flag. Go ahead.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty. I didn't check with our historian. Do we have any history today, Mr. Historian?
Yes, 1995,
95.
yes. Exploring a new kingdom.
Exploring a new kingdom.
Yeah.
Okay, 95.
Nice.
All right. Is this something from National Geographic or?
I was gonna say, Nat Geo.
Yeah. All right. Okay, well, we got our 95 in mind, so let's think about that, and we'll pray. Thank you, Lord, for another great day to be here and for our time to share together and to enjoy a breakfast and the fellowship and serving our community. We pray your blessing on each one, and for those that aren't here or maybe ill or traveling, in your name, amen. All right, maybe seated.
This morning I saw this.
Hey, Rich. All right.
tall guy.
This past week I had coffee with Dalton Melvin. You guys remember Dalton?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tall guy.
And Dalton is now in management training for Enterprise Rent-A-Car. And he works out of the Portland Airport office, PDX office.
Oh, should be.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
child with a dog.
So,
rejoin us?
his hope is he wants every couple of years or so, he wants to travel around to different, and live in different parts of Portland, so he's getting ready to move again. He wants to go to Northeast or somewhere. So he's got a place downtown, and he's got a circle of friends that he's known from school or he's made acquaintances with. And so they get these nice places, and so they move a new guy in when the other guy moves out. And so they kind of swap around town, places they live. Kind of interesting. Wow. Yeah. So he says hi to everybody. All right, let's see. Next week, Doug Hoy will be here with the New York trip and doing a slideshow and talking about his adventure there. I don't know if you saw any of the stuff he'd sent before, but he had some great photos and has a lot to say about his trip to New York. So that'll be next week. And then we have the Pack with Love events coming up on August 9th. And last week I showed on our website, on our homepage, there's a logo for Pack with Love. You can click on there and you can sign up to volunteer. They're short of volunteers this year, so we want to be sure to help them with that if we can. And there's lots of little jobs there that you can do, anywhere from greeting folks to being at a station at a table where they pick up supplies, go out to work in the carnival, where they serve food, whatever. There's lots of good things. With that in mind, I've also been asked to consider hosting one of the tables at their fundraising dinner, which comes up in October 4th. It's a Saturday. The tables there are 8 people to the table. It's for $250. And it might be nice if our club, because they're going to advertise who's there, they'll have a big thing on the table, they'll talk about it, they'll be mentioned in the program. That comes to $31.25 a person for a nice meal and a good evening out to support something. So I guess what I would suggest is, my wife and I are going to go. So we need 6 other people. If 6 other people will approach me, let me know. We will reserve it for the Optimists, and our name will be out there, okay?
When is it?
It's Saturday, October 4th. It's in the evening. Yeah, and it'll be at Cedar Mill Bible Church. And the speaker is Superintendent Jeff Rose. Thank you.
Cedar Mill?
Cedar Mill Bible.
So is that on Cornell?
Yeah. Right.
Morning.
Just let me know as soon as possible, because that way I can let them know if we're going to get a table for you. All right.
I'll do a short stack.
Okay. And let's see. On August 7th, we have our special program with it's called Donna's Story, and it's my friend Donna Yant, who was Japanese American, born in one of the relocation camps during the war. A tremendous storyteller, an optimistic person, and I believe me, you're going to go away that morning feeling really good to hear what she has to say. And I've invited both newspapers in the area are invited to come. I also contacted Channel 12, Fox 12, and hopefully someone from those news agencies will be here. I've also sent it out on our community email list from our club to our community partners and stuff, and it'll be also through the Local Business Association. So we may have may have to have maybe the whole room here for that morning, but it'd be great to have a good turnout, and maybe hopefully we can even get it recorded. But okay, so anyway, keep that in mind. Guarantee you'll have a good morning that day. Of course, me, you'll probably your car break down, and then you say, "You said I was going to have a good morning." Okay. All right. So let's do a pin and badge check. And Rich, would you mind just saying? Let's be honest. Do you have a pin and badge? If you don't, raise your hand. Okay, there's one. Are you still a member?
No.
Okay. All right.
But he should
Alan, did you raise your hand?
I did.
Okay, you got to go get Alan's money there.
Well, I kind of object to that. I mean, He's been in this club for so many years.
All right, charge him twice.
I told you not to say anything.
Gotta give him a pass.
I wanted to protect you. You know, as
Can you dig
a
any deeper,
past distinguished lieutenant governor, I'm going to stand up for you.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor of Bob sitting down, say aye. As a true friend, Rob, you tried, okay? We'll put that in a minute.
Here, Alan, I'll pay your, well, you've already paid it, I'm
Well,
sorry.
I think I paid it. He didn't bring the pot
Too
over. I
late.
think he put it in his pants.
Okay, so everybody buying the raffle that wants to buy? Okay, everybody got your ticket?
So Dick's got,
All right,
you
we're
gotta get
gonna,
Dick over there.
we're gonna do
He's
a
got
raffle,
tickets.
then we're
Oh,
gonna
we got
welcome,
tickets.
we're gonna welcome guests and take some more announcements, so, actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and do our announcements. First of all, I was standing here and a guy in a pinstripe shirt came in, and I think he's Richard Hose, okay? And I was gonna ask him what's been going on, but I thought, well, you know, maybe all of us wanna hear that. So Richard, you wanna stand up and give us an update on Richard and what's going on with you?
Well,
Better stand up front.
Yeah,
there.
come on,
yeah.
turn around.
The short version is not a whole heck of a lot.
Yeah.
You know, when I left here a few years ago, I decided to go back to work. I thought I was retired, but I unretired and worked for another 3 years and then just recently retired. Well, I retired about a year ago. But when I hit 67, I thought, well, time to pull the plug. So since then, I've been exercising a lot. I've been leading hikes, both locally and in the gorge and southwestern Washington. But been staying pretty active. I travel a lot. I was just in Wisconsin, my home state, about a week ago. Just got back. So my wife just retired, so I suspect that we're going to be doing a lot of traveling together. I've been doing a lot of writing. I'm still working on a book that I started about 5 years ago. I haven't made a lot of headway, but it's going to be entitled "The Bar That Made Milwaukee Famous." It's
What's the book about, Rich?
about Dirty Helen.
Dirty Helen.
Dirty Helen.
Dirty Helen, huh?
Yeah, yeah. She was a friend of Al Capone's, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, she was a good soul, but you know she did have a foul mouth.
Bonnie and Clyde generation.
Yeah, exactly.
She
So
had some bad company this year.
yeah, she did run into some pretty questionable.
That'll get you.
All right, don't bring politics into this.
Yeah. So that's pretty much about it. You know, the grandkids are growing and spending a lot of time with them. And it's been a lot of fun.
There, you got a question there, Richard.
Bruce?
You left out the most important thing, golfing with the
Oh,
buddies.
golfing with Bruce and Tom, of course,
Yeah,
and riding bikes and that sort of thing.
great.
So
Are you gonna
Where
do
do you
the
guys
Beaverton
golf?
Banks and Beyond?
I don't think so.
Okay.
That's just a little long for me. You know.
All right.
I don't know. I might change my mind.
Y'all?
Get an e-bike.
What's that?
You know, get an electric bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
Or a
permissible?
motorcycle.
Well, welcome back. So
Thank
great
you
to
so
see
much. It's
Welcome,
great to
good
be
to see
here.
you, Rich.
Thanks so much.
Okay, and then Bruce came in today, which was not a total surprise, but was a surprise. I wasn't sure he was getting out yet, and he walks in and he says to me, "They let me drive today," and I wanted to warn the world. Do you want to say anything, Bruce, about your recovery and what's going on?
Well, I had glaucoma surgery. There were 2-in-1 surgeries. One was to lower the pressures in my right eye by replumbing it. The other one, I had nerve damage, which was causing me to start losing my vision. So I had a little repair on that. It doesn't correct it, it just slows it down. And I thought the recovery time, since I had 6 post-op appointments every Tuesday through the 29th, that was going to be it and I could do stuff. Well, I'm out for the season, can't play golf, can't ride my bicycle, but on Tuesday the doctor allowed me to drive. I spent first two and a half weeks in a recliner, in a chair. I could just go to the bathroom, back, that was it, and keep my head above my heart. Now I'm walking 3 miles a day, and this is my 2nd day out driving.
Wonderful.
And my very first meeting in a crowd, because it's very strenuous for me to focus a lot. I have 9 stitches in my eyeball. I mean, I look normal now, but I could feel those stitches in there. And
So you're able to see pretty well now.
the vision's coming back. 70% in my right eye, and the vision's coming back, so I feel real good about it.
That's gotta be
Successful
a hell of a
operation.
handicap.
Well, you know, I'm on a lot of stuff, so I'm taking a lot of drops and all that kind of stuff, so. But otherwise, I feel great. I'm glad to be out and about.
Great, we're glad to have you.
Good, yeah.
Betcha.
Are you gonna tell us about the bike ride, or?
Oh, that's August 23rd. I can still do some coordinating efforts with the computer and telephone. Our Vice President, Ann Morrow, is the acting president right now because the doctor won't let me be in charge of running any kind of functions because of the stress. Yeah, I'm not in charge. I wasn't in charge anyway.
Well, that's the way it is at home, right?
Yeah, right. So I can attend tonight's meeting, but I can't do much, but contribute a little. But the event is, registrations are coming in. We're all set as far as the rest stops. People are talking it up, and we're hearing a lot from people that they're redoing the ride again this year because they like the food at the rest stops. They like the fact there's a lot of coverage on the road. We have a lot of SAG volunteers. The signage is very good. I don't think you could sign any better than we are. And our sign guy and our map maker does Cycle Oregon and all the other big rides around, so he's been with us for the 6 years. This is our 6th annual fundraiser, and I think we're going to be quite successful this year. And if you want to volunteer at one of the rest stops for a couple of hours, you know, we would love to have a Beaverton Optimist member. Every year, Hillsborough Optimist sends 2 people out to Townsend Berry Farm. Alan's been out there and worked with the Hillsborough Club. So if you're interested in doing a couple hours, we could use some help at Townsend Berry Farm.
I nominate Alan to be our official representative.
They didn't give me any berries the last time.
Oh, God, that's terrible.
Yeah, we don't get the berries because we have no way to wash them, and so we have all packaged foods there. And we always say we have there chips, Just Fruit bars, and water that's donated by Starbucks.
How many Ks is the ride?
Pardon me?
How many Ks?
Oh, they're from 32 is the shortest ride. It's 32, 64, 86, or 100 miles. The 100 miles and 86 goes into Vernonia and back. And the 32 just kind of does a flat, just a flat.
Do electric bikes qualify?
We do not discriminate unless,
There you go.
unless the state parks say the electric bike can't be on the trail.
Oh.
But I don't think that's, I think they have had electric bikes on the trail, but I don't know the official standard on the electric bike on the trail, so. Other than that.
Nick and Wally are going.
Yeah.
Yes, oh, and the history. So when Senior Roller started, it was Tony, Dave Crispin, Alan, and myself. And then our very first ride at Stubbs Stewart State Park was back before it was all paved. Dick took us on our ride. We hadn't been on it before. And I don't think we went, did we go to Vernonia? No. Then it just went to Stubbs Stewart and back. It didn't
That was
go all
out
the
to
way
Stubbs
out.
Stewart Park, wasn't it?
Yeah, it went up to Stubbs Stewart and
Yeah.
back to 64 miles. That was our first long ride.
Stubbs was a very good friend of mine. I did a lot of business with him.
Yeah, well, we did a lot of business with him on the bike. He's taken us on other trails too over the years. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Welcome back, Bruce.
Thank you.
We'll watch for you out there in traffic.
Yeah.
I was talking to my friend Bill, he's a mechanic buddy of mine here locally, and he's quite a bicyclist now. And he just said he just got back from STP. You know what STP is? Sadly, Portland. Yeah, he said he's recuperating from that. So anyway, looking forward to that. And before we do the raffle, any more announcements? Yes.
Just a couple things.
Yes, sir.
I don't know how much time you have. I just came back from New Orleans, so I can tell you a little bit about that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But let me start with this year, the window for organizing the Park Foundation raffles is really short. I basically just have this week to sell some tickets. So if you're interested, I can sell you some raffle tickets from the Park Foundation. The money goes to the Family Scholarship Program. In other words, families that struggle to be able to pay for the fees and charges that are part of the athletic, participation and activities and the art programs and all the other things that the Park District does. This year, the tickets are $5 each. In the past, they've been $20 each, but at $5 each, you can buy 5 for $20, so there is a discount if you go for $20. But if you can help me sell a few of these, I would greatly appreciate that. The prizes are 2 Oregon Duck football tickets. I know it's not one of the biggest games, but it's Oregon versus South Dakota on Saturday, August 30th. 2 Oregon State University Beaver games, Oregon State and Portland State.
Okay, there you go.
And we've got an iPad mini, fishing trip with Joff Roach. And also $500 airline ticket, $500 towards your destination of choice with, I think it's the last one. The raffle will be the actual drawing will be July 26th, so it's just coming up, so you won't have a long delay gratification. And so I have those, and if there's time, I talk a little bit about my trip to New Orleans.
Yeah.
I came in, I left Thursday last week, went to the National Association of Counties in New Orleans. People ask me, why in the world would you go there in the middle of the summer? Well, that's when the National Association of Counties has their annual convention. I suspect I hope they got a good price. Because as fun as New Orleans is, and I went early in the morning and took pictures of the French Quarter and went out on St. Charles streetcar one evening for dinner. I can talk about that in a moment as well. And it's a wonderful place, and no matter where you go, the food is good. Even the sort of more generic hotel places, they serve really good food, even in places like that. But of course, New Orleans is really famous, and I think justly so for a lot of restaurants that really serve great food, and it's just everywhere, really. Only downside was several people said, gee, isn't it hot up here, when I came back. Oh man, it feels so cool to me. when I got in on Monday afternoon, it just felt so cool to me, even though it was like 90-some degrees, because it's like 95 there, but it's like 100% humidity, literally.
You got the humidity.
Oh my God, and we had downpours a couple of times every day. It just would get so saturated with moisture that finally you could just drop a load of water, and it would really pour. But again, kind of a typical New Orleans story. I took the St. Charles streetcar on Monday night, and I had a couple of restaurants in mind. I'd have to walk about 4 or 5 blocks to get there from this one stop. But just as I was about to get off and the stop was approaching, this huge tropical downpour. And so I thought, oh wow. I mean, because you'd be soaked in a matter of a few minutes. So I got off the streetcar. I saw there was this place across the street with a big awning. So I thought I'm going to dash in there and I'll just wait a few minutes. But sometimes these things don't last that long. So I went under the awning of this place, and then I said, oh, it's a restaurant. So then I checked Yelps, and like 4.5 stars. And I looked at the menu, and it looked great. So I went in and I had a fabulous dinner there. And the rain lasted for almost an hour, almost the whole time that I had my meal. So in the summertime, you can expect lots of rain and lots of heat, but you can just randomly come off of a streetcar and and it's a great restaurant. So anyways, we had a good time. I enjoyed some of the classes and programs. We had an interesting speaker from the George Marshall Institute, which I hadn't heard of. The George Marshall Institute in Lexington, Virginia provided a whole day's worth of programming on leadership. We talked a lot about George Marshall and so forth. I had a little bit of free time on Sunday, and I went to the World War II Museum. And that's really quite an incredible thing. And at some point, there was so much to see, and it's such a huge subject. It's just, the stories are really endless on World War II. But I did take a picture of one little modest little bit of information. And sometimes what I should do, I should just email attach it to you. It's the military expenditures for Japan, Italy, the U.S., and Germany between the years 1934 and 1939. I think you see some amazing. I think you see some very amazing numbers. And talks about how truly formidable Germany was coming into the Second War and how woefully underprepared we were. It's some interesting figures, and I'll make a point. Maybe I'll just send it to you, Wally. You can send it out. That's quite interesting. So that's it. And any help that you can provide on the raffle tickets, it goes for a good cause. And who knows? I don't think we're going to be selling as many tickets, so I think your chances are better than in past years. This was not organized as well as it could be.
How much are they?
$5 a ticket.
I'll take some after the meeting.
Thank you very
Me
much,
too.
guys.
I
Thank
will,
you.
Dick.
Okay,
Well,
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Great, Dick, thank you.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and pay a fine, yes.
Well, I talked to Dave Chrisman Sunday
Yeah.
about
Oh, good.
our get-together,
Okay.
and he's gonna be coming up with some dates,
Okay.
probably in September.
Okay.
And so as soon as I told him, I said, give us a couple of dates so that we can talk about it.
Right.
So anyway, it's ongoing now, so.
All right, thank you. So Bob is working on, with Dave on our annual dinner that we have for induction and so forth. So we're looking forward to that. I'm glad he still likes to do that.
Yep.
And it's a great venue, and I'm looking forward this year to recognizing some folks who've been a real asset this year, and so it should be a fun evening. Who knows, maybe I can even get some live music out there. What do you think? Maybe. Yeah.
I just want to say that our bylaws committee is meeting this morning to review and update the bylaws, and I think that probably everything will go well because it's a very good group of people that's doing this, and we'll have the bylaws ready for the board meeting, I think,
Okay.
in August, so.
Right. Good, thanks, Jack. I appreciate you guys working on that. And also, I want to go ahead and pay a fine. I'll put it in the kitty today because I'm going to do an advertisement shamelessly. They've now posted some of my watercolors at Scott's Coffee Break. So if you go in there, you'll see a couple of the watercolors. There'll be more added later. And they're also available for purchase for those who want to do that. So anyway, that's at Scott's Coffee Break. And then I think Doug Hoy is working on having an area in the library where local artists can put some stuff up there too. So that'll be coming hopefully in the future as well. Okay, any other announcements before we go to our raffle? All right, last week's winner, Bob. You get $6, Bob.
Bob who?
Primrose.
Hey, my breakfast.
PP.
Yep, there you go, buddy.
First time I won for a long time.
All right.
Since the last time.
Well, now you can eat.
Ah,
Okay.
I was worried about that.
Yeah, I bet you were. All right. That's our raffle. Now we got to take this one. This week's. You want to pick someone to? Yeah. Get.
You usually do this,
Oh,
Aaron. You
okay.
collect the money, you pick a ticket this time.
Have your bribes been paid?
The sheriff and the undersheriff back there.
And the highest bribe, I'm gonna start and announce the second, third, and fourth numbers because they're quite satanic.
And the kitty is $13 today.
So we have numbers 2, 3, and 4 are 666, followed by a 6. So the first 3 are 366, and the next 3 are 664. 366, 664. Who's the winner?
Anybody gonna fess up?
664.
Correct.
All right.
Alan.
All right.
You made his. You
I
made
got
his
the
week.
satanic number.
Right. Let me give you some
Go
horns.
collect all those. Richard will dump it on.
Yeah.
How can he win when we don't even know who he is?
Thanks, Rich.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we're gonna take all the pin and badge and just
Yeah.
equal your winnings,
Yeah.
didn't it?
He doesn't have a name on, so how can he win?
I'm a member.
We don't remember.
I set the whole thing up. I'm gonna take it down. I'll fix you.
All right. By the way, I do want to say thanks to Rich for being our under sheriff today. We always need someone to help out, and he jumped right in there, so we appreciate that. Because our sheriff is our camera guy today, which brings us to the topic of the day, and that is looking at next week on, I believe it's next Tuesday, is Steve's birthday. So I thought it'd be nice, since you can't be here, that we'd bring a meeting to you. So that's what we're going to do today. And just to kind of give you guys some heads up, because some of you may be able to answer some of these things. When did anybody know when Steve joined? How he became sheriff? I already know a little bit of that answer. Where he's from? They maybe knows he grew up here locally. And then any other comments. So think about those, and we'll have a little bit of eating time, and then we'll have you guys share those thoughts. And then afterwards, we'll just have a time of visit, and then you can get with Eric if you have some things to share with Steve. And basically, what Steve misses out on is hearing about what you guys are doing. So you can say hi to him on the camera, but then let him know what you've been up to. Like there's something going on, you know, that you've been working on, or just some fun stuff you've been doing. Let him know, because that includes him on what's going on with your life. So I'm sure he'd be glad to hear about that. So that's the plan. So we can cut it for right now. We can eat a little bit and then go from there. So enjoy your breakfast. I think I'm going to have Bob Primrose, if you wouldn't mind talking to the camera, and tell them, you want to come up here? Come up here.
Do I have to?
He wants us up here. He's pointing up here.
Oh.
And Bob's going to tell us, as best as he can remember, a little bit about Steve and how he became our Sergeant of Arms or Sheriff.
Well, the year that Jim Cates was president, I think Steve wasn't in our club that long, I don't believe, at that time. We'll have to look back at the dates, but Jim needed a sheriff. And Jim, in his earlier years, was a sheriff somewhere in Oregon.
Hood River County.
Huh?
Hood River.
Hood River County, that's right, that's right. And if you ever know Jim, he'll tell you all about his adventures in Hood River County. But anyway, he had this star, and so he brought it in, and he put it on Steve, and he says, "You're now our new sheriff." And you know, that's lasted for 10 years or 15 years, something like that.
Jim was
You know,
president in 86.
86, was it?
Yeah, 85, 86, or 86, 87.
So it's a long time served as our sheriff.
Yeah.
And served very well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I also want to tell you, Steve, that about last Thursday, I came to the meeting and I won the pot. First time ever.
Cut.
And then right after that, I had to go over and get my locks changed on my new screen door. And I wish the heck you would have been here, because I could have used your services, you know, to change my locks. But anyway, I got the job done and everything, but I'll give it back to you.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, good going, Bob.
Well, what I remember too is Steve did a wonderful job as sheriff, and never had to worry about things being cleaned up at the end. And as a matter of fact, boy, he about railroaded us a few times because we make the mistake of standing over here where he had to get to the room to take the flags. Look out, fellas! You know you're gonna get speared if you don't get out of the way. So, yeah, Steve did a great job on that. And all right, anybody else? Let's see. Does anybody know where he's from?
Aloha.
He grew up in Aloha. Okay, that's from Jack. Okay,
Yeah.
Aloha.
I got a couple things.
All right, come on up, Jeff.
Well, Steve, as you know, we all wish you well. Eric, Rich, would you two come up here for a minute, please?
All right.
Come up here. Eric and Rich. So,
It's all my fault.
through your long tenure
Forgive me,
as
Sheriff,
sheriff,
for I have sinned.
Steve, and the outstanding job that you've done. It's taken these two guys to replace you, and we're having a heck of a time getting them trained to do it right, but we're still working on it. We need you back here to either take over or train these guys, because apparently we're not doing the job right. But they're learning, they're slow, but they're learning. So, anyway, okay, you guys are dismissed. You can go back to your meetings.
You've been shamed enough.
So we miss you, Steve,
All right, great, okay.
and happy birthday.
Yeah. All right.
Well, happy birthday, Steve. Obviously, we do miss you very much. I think it's been sort of hinted at, you know, you are a bit of a curmudgeon, but I have to say you're one of the nicer curmudgeons that I've met over the years, and you did a fantastic job with Sarge. I mean, that was really part of the whole experience on Thursday mornings was you doing that. You just did a great job, and we wish you the very best. And thank you, Eric, for bringing the camera and stuff. Eric is still learning, you know, the important job of being the sergeant, but he's great behind the camera, so.
Thanks. Marv Doty, here we go.
Hi, Steve. We all miss you very much, and particularly I do, because you were a real premium entity in our community booth at the Saturday markets. And one of the things you always did is you kept the discipline right up front, as you did with your badge of sheriff. And we hope for your best, and we think about you all the time, Steve. Be well, and good luck to you.
Thanks, Marv. Ruth.
Well, Steve, you and I became acquainted with one another many years ago when my wife, well, before she was my wife, borrowed your sister's hat for our wedding. And then when I came to my first Optimist Club meeting, and I was introduced to you as Steve Carruthers, and I remember asking you if you had a sister, and her name is Nancy Dashler. And I remember you saying, yeah, well, that's my sister, and I told you that story about our wedding. Also, the connection that we had when we got our first house, you changed all the locks in that house. Then you changed all the locks in the house that we're in now. And you've always been a good friend. And you introduced me also to neighborhood bicycling, which you were doing way back in the early 90s. And so I started doing that, which also contributed to all the bicycling I do today. You've been a good friend, and I miss seeing you around here.
All right, thank you, Ruth. Anybody else? Yes, Alan. Come on down, Alan.
Well, Steve, I remember your trip to Hawaii and your explanation about going up the volcano and riding the bike down. That just sounded so exciting. I almost wanted to go to Hawaii and come down the volcano on a bike. I want to thank you for all the help you've given me in getting locks changed at various houses. And we miss you because you do the tickets so well. You always divided them up and cut them and did it just right, not just give you a block of 3 tickets. Just so sloppy the way things are done today.
We're still trying to teach them. Still trying to
Remember, Alan, we're optimists, Alan. Yeah. I'm sure we'll get it, Steve.
Hey, who won the lottery with the block of tickets today?
Yeah, who won the lottery?
Yeah, well. Very well.
Stabbing yourself in the back, Alan.
First time, isn't it, Al?
First time I've ever won.
Okay, anyone else like to share?
Say hi to Steve.
All right, Barry, come on over.
Gotta come over here.
Yes, gotta come over
All
here.
right, gotta be
Stand on the X.
optimistic creed. Just say hi to Steve, happy birthday. I just had my 66 recently, so I'm looking forward to retirement next March. And we really miss you at work, here and at work. You see on your knees a lot of work. I wouldn't show you working or playing. But really miss you. And I don't know how MSEI and Biotronic are doing without you. We're struggling. But Wish you the best.
All right, thanks, Barry. Uh-oh, got another. Oh, okay. All right.
I'll say a quick word.
All right,
All right,
hold on,
Scott.
Scott's coming up. All right, our treasurer.
Well, Steve, like everyone said, thank you for all your work that you put in here. I actually have not won the lottery since you left, so even with the block of tickets were broken up. Never got a chance to have you change any locks, but I'm wondering if you've got the master key somewhere to everybody's houses or offices and everything.
Yeah.
Hope all's well. Things are busy for me with new puppy and teenage boys, but we'll survive. So hopefully you're doing well, and love to see you back at some point, but thanks again.
All right, great. Okay. That take care of it? So, all right. Good, good words. So, anyway, we want to take the party to you, so we brought it to you today, and we hope you enjoy it, Steve. And we have one more thing we want to do, and so maybe if we cut the film right now, and then I'm going to have all of us come up. We get one big group thing, okay, up front, and we got a sign, "Happy Birthday, Steve." Okay, so come on up.
We get to sing to him?
Big guys in the back. You're going to sing to him too.
Wouldn't it be easier to move the camera up here?
No, you have to have that in the background.
Yeah, we wonder. Yeah. Okay. So we could kind of get. I don't know. That might be too wide. Should we get a couple rows? One in front.
I'll tell you here in a second.
Probably gonna need it.
Actually, I got a wide shot, so,
Think so?
we're good.
Okay. So let's. You guys hold on to these. Share hold that. In the middle. And over here. Okay. Happy birthday, Steve. Then we're gonna. You got it rolling?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna sing Happy Birthday, Steve. And you know what? You don't even have to pay today. How's that sound?
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah. So here we go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Steve. Happy birthday to you.
All right, great. Thanks.
Stay
Thanks,
put for a
Steve.
second.
Oh, we gotta get a group photo. Get the phone. Get the phone up. Get the sign up.
5 more seconds, please.
Not
Oh,
flashing.
thank you.
All right,
Okay.
thanks everybody.
So,
Appreciate that.
That's good.
All right.
good idea.
No, I haven't really.
And appreciate Eric. Eric's gonna put that on DVD and we'll get it over to Steve.
And you'll be blackmailed accordingly.
Probably.
And
And
if you don't purchase the
Yeah.
DVD, I'll use voice pitch changing software and make
Yeah.
you sing like girls.
yeah, sound like helium we swallowed.
Yeah.
Children,
like that.
they all live
So
over there.
once we get it done, I'll be taking it over. And anybody who wants to go with me, I'll let the group know when I'm going over. And if you want to go with me, that'd be great. We'll deliver that to Steve. So.
Suggestion?
Yes, sir.
Make at least 2 copies of that.
Right.
I think we ought to send a copy of it down to Jim Cates.
Yeah.
Because he's the guy that got
Right.
Steve
Yeah.
started
Good idea.
as Sergeant of Arms, and I think that Jim would really enjoy seeing it. Yeah.
Good idea. All right. Well, we got, we're finished up a little early today, if that's okay, and Alan's still eating. Alan, you can just eat here by yourself when we leave.
We didn't hear about the history.
Oh,
yeah.
thank you. Yes, Alan.
Well, he's still eating.
Alan, can you be a ventriloquist and not spit food and tell us?
1995.
Okay,
Oh, went to the moon in 69.
69.
So it wasn't the nation of the moon, so.
well, this kingdom was kind of a magical kingdom.
Oh, well, something Disney?
Disney World in Paris.
Disney World.
Disney World in California, the first one,
Oh,
1995.
Disneyland.
Disneyland, yes.
What about it?
Well, that was when it opened up. Today, it opened for the first time.
99?
95, don't you mean 65?
Yeah. You mean 65, don't you, or 75 or something?
50.
55.
55. I thought you said 95.
Well, that's what he did.
Well,
Anything to throw us off, Alan.
I'm sorry.
55, 95, it's only 40 years.
55, and that was when the first one opened. And actually, it was kind of a bummer because you got a special invitation and somebody had counterfeited them. So there were a lot more people than they expected that came in, so they ran out of food. One of the women who was walking down Main Street got stuck because her high heels went into the soft asphalt that hadn't hardened yet. Some of the rides broke down, but they got everything going and it was pretty successful, needless to say. They opened up one in Tokyo, one in France.
Florida.
Florida was the next one, that was in 65. And one in Hong Kong, I think. So it's been a successful enterprise.
Now, can you remember what year it was?
Oh, sometime in the 1900s, as I recall.
Bob, you'd be the same way if you were living in a time warp.
Yeah, that's right. He just missed it by 40 years. I mean, after all, I mean, that's...
I do have a Disneyland story since you brought that up. When my son Eric, I don't know how old he was, and my whole family, we went to Disneyland, and we took my father-in-law, and he was having a little problem getting around, but so we decided, well, maybe we'll take a wheelchair, you know. But being a stubborn German, he wasn't going to sit in a wheelchair, you know. So my son sat in it, you know, just for the ride. And so we're tooling around. We go to the Pirates of the Caribbean, and I get in the back of this long line, and everybody up front goes, up here. I go, no, come up here. Okay, so I wheel my son up. We're all up front, you know. And then it's time to get ready to get on, and he stands up, and I go, it's a miracle! So, yeah, that was quite a story. I got some dirty looks. I don't know what that's about. But, all right. I think does that cover it for everybody? Yeah. All right. Good breakfast. Good time today. Good to see Richard back, and for Bruce to be around.
I'll see him again at lunch.
Yeah.
Today.
And you'll keep seeing him even better when that thing just keeps getting better and better.
We'll come back next week, Richard.
Yeah.
We'll have an application ready for you.
Yeah.
Reapplication.
Yeah. You can re-up, Richard. All right. Okay, let's stand. And let's see. Scott, would you do the...
Sure. Promise.
To be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. To talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet. To make all your friends feel that there is something in them. To look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true. To think only the best, to work only for the best, and to expect only the best. To be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own. To forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future. To wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every living creature you meet a smile. To give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others. To be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to bear the presence of trouble.
Remember, next week we're going to New York. Watch your optimism.
Yeah, man.
All right.
You're talking about photoshopping. I have to figure out why.
I'll give you a 20.
Oh,